waste any time. He gets it down, approaching. Oh, Richardson! That bump was by Voss. And Alan Richardson, on his 31st birthday, is in a lot of strife.
Episode 7, proudly brought to you by Major Tom for all your video, live streaming, podcast, editing, marketing, all your social media platforms. Get on to Major Tom. Any businesses or influencers out there want some assistance, get on to Major Tom, that can help you out. A big thank you for tonight's show, sponsored by Close Commercial Services, all your metal roof specialists. Thanks very much for your sponsorship tonight. Just a couple of, firstly, a condolence to from all the Heights family to Ken and Jan Hickey, who were massive supporters, and the death of their son Scott. I'll introduce the hairy chef.
Hello guys, back again, seven weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It just seems like it was 7 weeks ago when we first started.
Yeah, indeed.
It's good to be back, to be back. I've got can I just butt in for 1 second?
Go for it.
That's what I do. I was actually speaking to one of the great players of Chelsea Heights last night, Paul Foote.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And Paul Foote is not on any sort of social media or anything. He's still got a Nokia 5210 with the Snake game on it. Yep. And he rang me and someone sent him one of the shows, which he was mentioned on. He's been mentioned on everyone.
Yep.
And he said it was great. He loved
that's
it.
Great.
He said he was really humbled. I think Judd showed it to him at Smoko the other day, and he said he goes, I had a tear in my eye. He goes, I never thought that people thought of me like as a good player and as a good person. So he was really humbled by that. So that's great. That meant a lot. So we're reaching someone. So that's really good.
That's great. Yeah, he doesn't need to be humble. He was a great player and a great man.
He absolutely was.
Yeah, and we'd love him back in the fold. And hopefully he'll come down. Speaking of, that's a good segue again into the past players.
Absolutely.
Anyone got any ideas or suggestions? We're going to have a past players meeting coming up soon. We're trying to get a committee together, and anyone wants to send in some ideas of how many free beers you get with your membership, or how many...
That was my first question.
How many bits of pizza you can have.
That was my second question. So we've banded a few names around. So we've got Jeff McDonald trying to get him on board.
On board, yep.
Twitesy, I know he's busy with family and the footy commitments, but we'd like to have him on board. Bear Bum, myself, I said get on.
Yep.
So
anyone else?
If any of the old guys would like to get on,
or
even the new guys.
Yeah, want to get on board. That's exactly right.
I think it's a great idea to keep everyone in contact with the club, and as like this show's been doing and catching up with a few past players, and it's been really great. So.
Yeah. So the idea is to get some sort of constitution in place whereby we can say, okay, these are the players we're sponsoring. Maybe the Heights want just a lump sum to help them out with the overall costs of the club.
Exactly,
I don't know. Or I was also talking about maybe doing something like a community grant or something, looking after some young kids in different competitions.
Yeah, exactly.
If they might normally play football, that we could put some money towards their gear or fees or things like that, and have our big day where we can give a lot of notice to people at the start of the season, send out a card or something with all the games on them. We can flag that day, that special day that we're going to have as our past players, and we'll get maybe some gold sponsors on board to put on the other side of the card. And
it'd be good for the old blokes to know some of the new blokes and get to know their story a bit better and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Just an overview of tonight's show. We were going to catch up with the boys off the track, but they've gone. They're finished. They're out of here.
Apparently football's on.
Yeah, apparently there's footy on somewhere else.
The Pies are on. So
I know nothing about that, but apparently there's another game on.
I'll be gone in 15 minutes. Hurry up, boys.
And look, the idea of doing this show as well is not only those who want to watch it live, it's also great for people. As we said, the next day you're on the train or travelling to work or after work or, want some time out from the missus or kids or something to put the headphones on and sit back and have a bit of a laugh. So that was the reason getting this started.
Exactly right. And it's not that hard, boys. You just get on one of the pages and click on the link. And if I can do it, everyone else can do it. It's pretty simple.
Just an overview of tonight's show. We've got our standard demon tile happening here. We've got a couple of past players tonight. We've got Bisho's Bet of the Week, and I'll tell you what, we've all been eating crayfish all week.
Absolutely.
How good has it been?
It's good to have a win.
Crayfish. Oh.
Simon Fanning, eat your words, sunshine.
I think it paid about $3 too. I got out to about $3. So Bisho is quite excited. Hopefully we've got some footage of him riding at home. We have. The coach
We
says
have.
we do.
Well,
The
the only reason he got home because he rode it home.
He rode it
with
home.
a wooden spoon. If you
Yeah,
feel it.
we should have actually rang Badger and see if he was on it. If he wasn't, maybe that was the reason it got home. We've got our best 22 for week 7. We're doing the father-sons. Can you believe it? We've got a father-sons team together.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Fantastic to do that. We'll be taking some questions from the audience. And I'm looking at this. I've got it crossed out. Someone's crossed it out. I've got Dave Joke of the Week. I've got it crossed out, and I've got Dinga's Joke of the Week.
Well, Dave rang me this afternoon. He got called into work, so he's on call, so he couldn't do it. So then I got a message, and I rang James Matthew, James Abraham, a.k.a. He was a bit nervous. He said, I don't have a joke. And I thought, well, that's because you're sober. You know what I mean? A few beers in him, and he won't stop telling him. So we made a call to the big fella, and he was keen. So I told him the guidelines of what he can and can't say.
Yeah.
Not sure he'll abide by the rules, but that's what he's like.
That was our censored only podcast that we've had. I think when Dinga was on, the F word came out a few times.
More than I say it, so that's great.
Fantastic. Well, tonight we've got a special guest, one of our past players. He played in our under-17 side that we spoke to Bear Bum about last week. And he got thrust into the seniors at a very young age, like a lot of us actually in those dark old days at the Heights. He knows how difficult it was. He went on and played, I'm sure he played over 200 games at Chelsea, maybe more. And he currently sponsors and employs a few of the boys down here at the club. So, and his whole family have been ingrained in the Heights.
Just terrific.
Terrific
family to be involved in the Heights.
We get the stir over here probably every home game, every Saturday comes over.
He wanders over.
So it's a home away from home for him. So thanks for joining us, Closey.
Thanks for having us here.
No worries. I've got a few questions for you. So firstly, I just wanted to open it up to you that you can tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to the Heights family, and some information about your business. So you've sponsored tonight's show, so tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. With the Heights, I sort of I come here as an under 16-year-old. So got here in about early 80s, 83, 84, somewhere around there. As far as business-wise, I worked for Alan Smith, the great Big Al.
Big Al.
Bit of lagging
Big Al, yep.
in the early 80s. And funny enough, Alex Stewart was a mate of my old man's and managed to get my apprenticeship going at All Staff Air Conditioning back in the day. So that was in 84, 85. Ended up to this day doing commercial roofing and it was a plumbing apprenticeship, obviously. We employ about 30 blokes and a couple of locals. I've had Gary Carpenter's worked with me for a good 17 years. He goes real well, and he's started as my apprentice. A couple of blokes like the great chaps, and I even employed Fitch for
how long?
Our next question. Thanks. Fitch is a ripper. He gave us some of the funniest moments we've had him work. He come back and forth a couple of times, but he was great. Yeah, we'd mainly do government rail, airport. We do sort of major projects.
Small projects.
Yeah, just little ones.
Have you seen that the TV show Utopia? Is it very much along those sort of lines?
Oh, it's getting along.
Jeans and that, mate.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much sums up what the business does. Yeah.
Not sure if you listened to last week's show, not podcast, but we spoke a fair bit about the dark old days of the Heights, and I think you were involved with the Bears and all that kind of stuff. So tell us about the under-17s and being thrust in the senior footy at, I think, 16, is that correct?
Yeah, we were. It was pretty rugged days. We were. I think. Hogs was coaching back then. I can't remember who was actually the coach at the actual time, but it was pretty tough. We went out as kids and pretty much played earlier, and then ended up having to sit around and playing the seniors later on.
Yeah, 2 games a week.
2 games a day, and that happened for quite a while. So we copped some pretty horrendous beltings. There was a few of us. There was Toddy would have done a few, and Smitty and Daz, Buzz. There was a few of us that Meetha was another one. We got absolutely flogged. We played like Cranbournes and Duff. They were like full-grown men. We were like little boys. They used to just flip us over. And I played in one game. I think Cranny beat us by 50-something goals. So it was character building in the early days.
So to speak.
Yes, exactly.
The irony of that one is, we actually beat Cranbourne. That year they beat us by 55 goals and all laughed at us. I think 2 years later when Steve Fanning was coaching, we actually beat him.
So it was actually like a grand final. Yeah. Like I've never played in the side that's ever beaten Cranbourne.
No, either.
Juniors, seen anything. I've never seen anything. I've just been on the end of some horrendous beatings. Yeah. I think I'm a leg in plaster again or something. And when we won, I had the crutches and I couldn't run out quick enough. It was like one of the greatest days ever to be alive.
You had a few breaks in those days.
Should have drank more milk.
So anyway, went on and I probably played around 60 to 70 games before I was 21. So it was great times, great club Heights. I remember the days fun.
When did you see? I think my memory serves me correct. You, myself, and Darren Reynolds went to Chelsea in under 17s.
We had a gap in there in between.
That's
we
right.
Went to the Paul Trigger coach.
Triggsy, the great Triggs.
Yeah. It was too good to refuse. And the Surf King of Chelsea took on the coaching job, and he was fantastic. So
he was a great bloke, wasn't he? A really good coach, like a people person. He was awesome. Really terrific. I still sort of keep in contact with him. Yeah. He says to me, he goes, you're a rough diamond, but I really liked you. You know what I mean? I was the only bloke who could wear a bright pink matching tracksuit pants from Trigger Brothers.
He had it going on.
So, speaking of wearing, I remember a game at the Pines. T. Pegram playing full forward. I remember T. Pegram maybe getting reported. T. Pegram taking his jumper off and throwing it over the fence and then walking off.
No, incorrect, Grant. Incorrect. What happened was the umpire had it against me that day. I did nothing. He said to me, what happened? He made a decision. I've yelled out, "You're an idiot." And he turned around and he goes, "I'm going to report you." I go, "It wasn't me." Then looked behind me. I thought, well, there's no one else here. So he's pinged me. Anyway, he was running off and he said, "I want that jump. I want your number." So I took it off and I threw it at him. And I got reported, and I copped 7 weeks.
7 weeks?
Yeah, at the tribunal, he said to me, "I've never been so scared in my life." Yeah. I go, "What, of a woolen jumper?" It was just and the great Kevin Howard took me to the tribunal, and I got 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
And I threatened the umpire after the tribunal session, so I wasn't in a great headspace at that time, but yeah, that's nearly true.
Kevin Howard, Petruccelli on the case, so
I actually thanked him at the presentation. I said I think my outstanding defence team, Kevin Howard, to give me 7 weeks. So, and that was my last year at Chelsea. Funny enough.
Yeah, no, I just remember that. That's stuck in my memory, and I thought I had that in my back pocket. I thought, I'm going to throw it. When the time's right, I'm just going to throw it at you.
There's a few things weren't super proud of playing footy, and that was probably one of them. That wasn't a terrific thing to do. But it is what it is.
If Codge is ready, we're gonna watch some footage, and we're gonna get you to have a chat about it. Yep. It's pretty impressive stuff. If it's ready. He's just going to get that set up for us.
For those that don't know.
Yeah, for those that don't know.
The man over here on our right is a very good sailor.
Yeah.
Been in sail for a long time, since you were a kid.
Yeah, it's very, I was about 7 years old.
7 years old, yeah. We're going to run this now.
That's...
The morning of the Hobart was awesome. It was my first Hobart and a number of the crew's first Hobarts as well. We were pretty excited standing at the dock waiting. We had a great favourable forecast for a downwind race. We believed we were pretty solid downwind sailors. We felt we were pretty prepared, and we were prepared for the 2018 Hobart as much as we could. The amount of people that were out there, spectators and the helicopters in the air, and just the general vibe, especially around the dock, really good feeling. And yeah, there's a lot of anticipation, sort of knowing what you're about to head into, but it was pretty addictive sort of feeling being on the dock and getting ready to leave.
Being involved with it directly was a lot more exciting.
On the day when we got our storm sails out and sailed past the committee vessels saying, righto, we're going to compete in this, was sort of like a reality check. And wow, you know, we're here and we're going to do this. The feeling as we cleared the second mark and turned south, the weather was ideal. We were in board shorts and t-shirts. We put up the biggest kite we had at that stage, and full main and staysail, and just started hammering away. The boat just felt fantastic, electric through the water, over 20 knots of stages with the keels starting to tell us what's going on with the hum. Never experienced that feeling of the boat coming alive and telling us that this is a good thing, you know. And looking amongst the crew, which is several Sydney Hobart sailors on the boat, they were ecstatic as well. So as a first time Sydney Hobart virgin, looking at that experience, and everybody's just got a smile on their dial. And the boat was just happy. It was just going to do something special.
We were reaching speeds in excess of 20 knots quite regularly, surfing down some pretty decent waves and having a jolly old time. All of a sudden I just felt a bit of impact on the rudder, and
Jason just looked at me with a horrible expression on his face saying something's wrong with the rudder. As I was in the companionway looking past him, I saw the rudder pop up behind the boat. There's carbon foam sandwich, so it popped up like an orca fin, and I'm telling Jason the rudder is gone. And the mast was still upright, we're coming down a wave, but as soon as the bow hit the trough of the wave, she laid down and we were all thrown everywhere on the boat.
Look, we're all very, very disappointed. That's probably an understatement. A little bit, yeah, obviously I was pretty upset after preparing a boat meticulously against anything that could possibly happen for a long period of time, for a good 12 months, and all of a sudden something you can't see happens. It's, yeah, it was very, very disappointing.
And then the reality of what had happened and what was going to happen from there sort of sunk in. Shoulders went from here to here, and the silence and the look on and the expression of the crew was, yeah, incredibly sad and sobering.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, 2 weeks afterwards I made a solid decision, booked my accommodation in Hobart, thought, bugger it, I've got to do this, so got to get this race done.
Mate, it's pretty awesome. In 2 years, got the monkey off the back, 2 years of prepping a boat, and yeah, love it, mate, love it. Oh no, just as a team effort, an awesome crew, absolutely awesome team, and I'd like to thank my family putting up with me.
First in ORCI Division 4 and first in ORC Division 5 goes to Patriot Jason Close.
That was just a question from the audience here. It's actually my bro, he's online. Jason Close.
Patriot representing the Sandringham Yacht Club in Melbourne. And that's
thanks, Daz.
a very worthy return after they broke their rudder last year. He's got a smile on his face this time. Well done, Jason Close and Patriot. 2 trophies in Divisions 4 and 5.
And your achievements so far in that sport, and what are the ambitions you have in sailing going forward? And tell us a little bit about your race list, what you've done so far.
Yeah. Well, I started obviously at Chelsea Yacht Club. We lived not far from there. I was probably 7 years old. Yeah, just sailing in small boats and dinghies. And
what pointed you there? Was your dad was into it, or?
I think I was a bit of a boisterous kid. I think I needed something to do and burn the energy. And I used to watch the boats. Yeah, and I sort of, said, well, why don't you look a bit further into it? So I looked further into it and ended up getting myself a job crewing with a bloke, and ended up evolving from there. So. Yeah, it was just one of those things. It's a bit different because everyone played cricket around me. Yeah. And I, during the summer I sailed, so it was a little bit left of field for the mainstream blokes. Yeah, came through, sailing many classes, and ended up ended up sort of representing, Australia on in the Dingy stage in world titles in Australian teams. And just sort of rolling on from there. So got into keel boats in 2004. And started becoming doing offshore. We had some good results. We won Hamilton Island and Airlie race weeks, variable things like that, and won a Melbourne Hobart. The old mate Codge was on the boat with us. He'll tell you all about it if you ask him. But we had a pretty good race then, and so sort of evolved from there.
Yeah, and what about sort of going forward in sailing? What sort of ambitions? Is there anything? Or I know COVID's hit at the moment, but down the track, is there anything overseas you want to do?
Overseas would be tough. I have sailed in the Asian circuit before on other boats. It's very hard to get your own boat over there, but locally, we'll probably just stay with the local events. The Sydney Hobart's the biggest gig in town. We've done Sydney Gold Coast races. We'll do Port Lincoln, Adelaide Port Lincoln. That's a great race week. You eat that much cray, you end up loaded with gout and everything. At the end of it, it's
I could be on the crew.
I was looking over at Toddy there. So we'll just probably continue along those lines. It's pretty hard to sail keel boats at international level with your own boat. You sort of got to hire something overseas, and that's not out of the question either.
Yeah, okay. So what about something like the Caribbean? Have you been over to Caribbean Race Week and done anything like that? No?
Unfortunately, sort of the work commitments have kept us a little bit, a bit more at home. But that I would love to do that.
Yeah,
the Caribbean would be awesome. So I am looking. That'd be something we'll consider.
Yeah, Jungle just said he's available.
Yeah, I saw that.
and Toddy, Gary Carpenter, if you're listening, 5 o'clock start tomorrow, champion. The bills don't pay themselves.
That's right.
So tell us about your old man. Like, we lost him a couple of years ago. He's a great bloke. What don't we know about him at all? He was a great supporter of the club, coach. God, he was a sponsor. He looked after me one time. When I did my knee again, I think he just gave me $1,000 to look after me. What don't we know about your dad that you do? Because he was a really good bloke.
A few little things. He played a full season with North Melbourne under-19s. Played in the reserves. Probably could have played seniors. He was pushing the right direction. But back in those days, he was a mechanic, and it was pretty tough. So he ended up choosing work. He was a state level sprinter and swimmer. He made both of them. He was right up the top end of the program, which was pretty good. He brought bubble wrap into Australia.
He did a couple of really cool things.
I was the happiest kid in the world.
Mate, he's made a lot of people happy. A lot of people happy.
Well, not only did
and annoyed.
Yes, and annoyed. A lot of parents annoyed, like, shit, you know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't only bubble wrap. He bought the Jason recliner in as well, so I could
Is
actually... He was
true?
behind the recliner, yeah.
That's a
I could
great
actually
story.
sit in the recliner and pop bubble wrap. So I was,
Now, that wasn't named after you, was it, or not?
No, it wasn't.
That was a better story.
Not that I know. I can, for the sake of the story, I'll roll with that. But so they're just a few little things. He was involved in about 20 different businesses and gave everything a crack. And he loved the Heights. It was always said he's the Heights mates are his mates for life. Alan Schmidt, Peter Seckel, those sort of blokes. They're all his mates right through to the very end. So
that's fantastic. And I'll tell you a story.
And Reg.
And Reggie, I'll tell you a story.
He get on the boat too.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the crew. Yeah. We might win. Tell you what.
We'll have a good time. It is the Caribbean. It is the Caribbean.
It's all laid back a bit, isn't it?
I'll tell you a story. I think it was he coached us in under 14s or under 15s. I might have been under 14s. I remember one night him saying to us, all right, it's the end of the night. We're going to sprint back to the rooms. If anyone could beat me, that's my shout for, pies and soft drink for everyone, the whole team. I thought, how easy is this going to be? Surely he's not going to beat us. He absolutely killed us. He was very fast.
Yeah, he's very tight too.
Yeah.
No, that's what he
Yeah, he was rapid. He had a good form.
Yeah, it was really quick off the mark. He destroyed us.
Yeah. Done well.
Yeah, and he did pop around to Reggie's on a Sunday and have a couple of beers every now and then.
A
It's
couple
really
of
good.
Snifflers on a Sunday.
Yeah,
they were keen.
Yeah,
a couple of wages as well.
Couple of wages. He's big at the Sandown Dogs. He loved the greyhounds.
Yeah,
loved the Sandown Dogs.
I think he had a few gains from Reggie over the years too. A few purchases.
From the
old days.
A few red hots.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
A few red hots.
Can't confirm or deny this.
No, that's it. That's a common word we use on the show. Allegedly.
In the house.
Exactly right. Close the doors, lock the front, lock the back.
Another question here from the audience wants to know how Helmet goes sailing in the sailing caper. How good is he? Helmet.
I reckon the audience, that would be Helen asking this question, 100%. He sailed with us one race and we won it at Hamilton Island.
Yeah.
And the next race we raced and we didn't go so good. So he sent me a message, do you want me to fly back the next day to jump on the crew? We actually won the regatta, so it was all right. We recovered from Helmet leaving us and, our poor showing the second race. And, ended up winning the next few and come through all right. But we had to be from the great man himself, no doubt.
So this is another question about transition. Transition in life is obviously huge. Transition in sport is pretty big as well. So I know there'll be a lot of Carrum Cowboys listening tonight. So tell us your transition into old boys football. What were you thinking? A little bit about playing in a premiership at the Cowboys and sort of what that meant. And would you recommend it to any of the Heights boys that may be contemplating retirement or whether they want to extend their career and do something else? So.
And a few of them have been there, a few have gone there. So
Well, I started. I played for Morty Alec actually in 2005 before the Cowboys were invented, and I got a call from Jugs. I think it might have been the pre-season, and said, Karen, we're going to put a team out. You keen? And I said, oh mate, I'm in. It's just up the road. It's perfect. It's a local club. We jumped in 2006. I actually won two Premier. We won back to back.
Back to back. There you go.
2007.
Yep.
We won 2006 in I think third division and 2007 in the second division. It was a good bunch of local guys. We had guys like from the Hiders. We had Buzz, Mearnsey, Daz, the great Daz, / Molly, these sort of guys. And I played with your mates like Helmet, Foz, Solly, Mossy, Chaps, Heater. Look, I probably missed a few, but that's just to touch on the blokes. We were really had a real strong base. Took it as played for fun. When it got serious near the finals, we raised the bar a bit. I think that's we're all competitive.
There's a bit of talent in that team, isn't there? When you mention those names,
pretty solid team.
That would have been really enjoyable. That sort of combination of all local clubs getting together and play together. It would have been really interesting. Sort of their footy backgrounds, where they came from, and where you've sort of come from.
The first game we run out, there was I think we run out to the boys are back in town. And there would have been seriously a couple of thousand people watching all us old bastards running around a footy oval, So I thought, shit. So it was a bit of fun, and it's a great club, great spirit, and I try and squeeze a couple of games in here and there. I don't last long these days.
So do you recommend it for anyone that's sort of getting retirement?
Look, absolutely. It's great. It's actually fun footy. It's a different level. When you're playing local footy, it's a bit more pressure, and blokes are playing for a little bit of coin, things like that, which is all good. It's all part of the sport. It's the other way. Once you go to the over 35s, you're paying for everything, and you're taking all the risk, and you're injured half the time. You play half the amount of games, but it's
no pressure. Yeah,
it's a hell of a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the years. Those early years were fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. Very good.
And it's good that everyone's in the old days you'd stick to your club, so you'd be staunch. And you stick there, you wouldn't go there, you wouldn't play. That's how it sort of worked. Yeah. And the Carrum Cowboys brought all these different players from all different teams together and realised that you had the same intentions, you're the same good people, and that's all you want to do. And footy was the thing that combined everything. So I think it's a great idea.
No, it was great. It was great for the area, actually.
It
was great for Carrum, because Carrum had lost their senior side. Prior to that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So, got it. Yeah, got it going. Just another question from the audience. Paul Martello, was he the best footballer you ever played with?
Obviously, Aaron didn't ask that question.
I got to think about this. I remember him trying to take a bounce in the centre of the ground once. There's video of it. It's done a few rounds. So he was a very solid. I didn't mention Paul. Geez, he escaped me there. So
I think he just mentioned himself.
Yeah. I did actually miss him there. I don't know how. I played in defence with him, and he was never in defence. He was up forward trying to kick goals. But no, he was a handy player. I don't want to blow too much wind up his bum, but he was handy.
He's handy.
Yeah.
Handy's good.
Handy's good. Yeah.
Handy's good enough. Dream Hole quiz. I know you weren't at the club a lot because you obviously played a lot at Chelsea, but you would have seen a few Heights players run around. Best Heights player you ever seen, you reckon?
The best Heights player I played with Steve Fanning by quite a long way. Special mentions to Smitty and Paul Foote. I didn't play with Footy at the Heights, unfortunately. He was a bit younger than us, but I coached him at Carrum and played with him at Carrum. He was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but as far as Heights, yeah, Steve Fanning for sure.
Yeah. And your dad took a real shine and really looked after Smitty in his not only his playing days when he got drafted. Really took him under his wing, gave him a job, and tried to set him up. And it was just unfortunate how the cards folded there, getting drafted by the Swans and not Melbourne, which he would have hoped and been able to play in Melbourne. Yeah. So.
Oh, he was. He's a good player. He hit some blokes pretty hard, Smitty, too.
Yeah,
We were just talking about it before, and he was a good footy player.
Yeah, he was. I remember him telling us the story too that he got flown up by the Swans with it was Dale Lewis, wasn't it?
I think it might have been Dale Lewis.
Back in the day, yeah, Dale Lewis. Yeah. They both jumped on the plane and sat next to each other and introduced themselves.
An interesting conversation, that one.
Yeah, it would have been.
The Wiz would have been up and about then.
He would have been. That's right. Just another question here, which I like to ask all the players, is did you have any post or pre-game rituals? Because we're all different in that sort of regard.
Look, pre-game, I always carried a footy pretty much from when I woke up. I don't know why I did it. I walked around with a footy. Before a game, I always had my socks down, jumper out, look messy as hell. Post-game, pretty well never stretched. Never rehydrated with water and just drank beer. I think that was pretty much the much the stable diet of the time, and ate a pie normally or something. Like that, so no bananas.
We had
no ollies.
We had Thwaiter on last week that told us he ate dim sims before a game, and I was just shaking my head. How do you do that?
Yeah, he's a machine, folks. He's just a weird machine for sure. Funny stories your playing days you'd like to share, and just remember, be careful what you say and whatever, and put allegedly in a lot of things.
Playing days at the Heights, it's the one thing I do recall and still recall pretty well was a game in the thirds. We played Doveton down at Doveton, and the bars on the windows was feral out there. I've seen fit to push a bloke into a fence, and there's a cheeky little bloke from Doveton and up near the members' wing there, and all of a sudden it didn't end too well. This big all-in brawl started, and I ended up at the bottom of it, and then I could smell beer, and I'm thinking it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, what the hell is this? So the crowd have jumped the fence. The local Indigenous folk have jumped the fence and started punching into me as well.
Oh, gosh.
And,
one in all in.
It was a fair game, and I was saved by the great puppet. He was goal umpire at the time with his big goal umpire jacket on and his flags, and he looked like the big marshmallow man out of he come flying in and started whacking blokes with the flags, and that was one of my earlier moments, but that was pretty wild in those days.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably deserved it anyway.
Probably should have do it at a home game next time.
Like
in the opposition sort of territory.
I was going to ask you too, just quickly about your playing days at Chelsea. You played a few premierships there, didn't you?
No, I played in one premiership in 1990. I played in two other losing grand finals. Captain club, and played. I played around 150 something odd senior games. I can't actually remember, but somewhere around there. I think.
And, do you have any memory of your best game that you might have played at Chelsea at all?
Oh. No, look, obviously the most memorable game's the 1990 grand final. It was the first year I'd left the Heights, went to Chelsea. Wasn't, really favoured to get a game in the seniors at Chelsea because they were a pretty good side, and I didn't play a reserves game. I played the seniors all year and played in the flag. So that was an achievement. I just stuck at it, never missed a training night, and played in an exceptionally good team, and won the flag that year.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The one thing I'm going to ask you too is we're going to have a past player. I've mentioned this before. Past players would really like you to come down when we do have that, and Thanks very much for your time and stories today, and the footage is fantastic about your sailing and that you've transitioned into something fantastic sport. So we'd love to still have you around the club. Thanks for your sponsorship, and thanks for sponsoring a few of the boys as well. It's really important.
No, thanks for having me. I'll be around. So, just kick the season off.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for joining us.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for coming down. Been a pleasure.
Again to say it again, we're sponsored by Close Commercial Services tonight. Thanks very much. They're your metal roof specialists.
Best in the business, I think.
Best in the business. As he's told us, it's all commercial. So if you want your tin shed done, don't ring Close. He doesn't do. He doesn't do your home.
For a very humble man, he's
saying he does. The new Morrison government $150,000 grant. He will do your back fence, your back shed
for 160.
160, yeah. and you get 25 back. Is that right?
Yeah, and you know what? You get a free boat ride.
Free boat ride.
Exactly
You
right.
can do that.
Boat ride.
Yeah. Most people will pass on that when they find out the codge is on the boat. Turn it up, he says. Turn it up. That's all he's got. All right, we're just about ready. If the codge is ready, we're about to ring Bisho.
The Victorious one.
I reckon he would have sunk about 24 crannies already by now. He'd be and crayfish. Yeah, let's have a look at this footage. We've got to see this.
This is the reason.
This is last week's.
Now, was it his horse that got up? Was it his?
No. It was Bisho's bet last week. He's gone bang on it. He went overboard on it. And
what with a 3-man tent?
He put the 3-man tent. He told me the dog was included in the package. So he's put it all on. Let's have a look at this.
I bet you the dog's happy.
Let's have a look at this.
A smart meteor, Ballistic Boy is coming down the
Ballistic!
Then to Bold Delago, Man
Go Ballistic!
Baby Cross, Super Giant, and now Ballistic.
Go Ballistic!
Ballistic
Go!
Full of running, looms
Go boy!
Baby Cross.
There you go.
Bradley Neville
Hey.
still in the set. Ballistic
There you
Boy
go.
clear on the rough habit.
A great man. He's pretty happy about that.
We're waiting for that, boys.
He's been under a bit of pressure the last 6 weeks. Someone's very impressed.
Go to mine.
Did Badge answer in? Did Badge get on it?
I'm not sure. Oh, that's hilarious.
That's
that is
brilliant.
so funny. We're going to get him online. We'll give him a quick call.
Give him a call. Well, I reckon he'd still be celebrating.
He'll still be celebrating. Like I said, it'll be crayfish, prawns.
Absolutely. I'm just hoping that wooden spoon survives all that. He's stirring the pasta.
He was very, very happy, man.
Very, very happy. Simon Fanning, eat your words.
Eat your
Bad
words,
Michael,
Simon Fanning.
Michael William. Hope you.
We're hoping to have Simon on next week. I think.
Yes, that'd be great.
We'd like to have the 3 Fannings.
That would be an extra special show if we get the 3. Maybe we could ring him in or get Simon in. We could probably get Slob in. I reckon we could get Slob in, my neighbour, and well, maybe Steve could come down too, couldn't he?
Hello.
When is a grain of sunshine?
When is it green as mate? I'm just still counting me money.
Okay. How's that crayfish tasting? How's the crayfish? Was it nice?
Yeah, beautiful, mate.
Beautiful, was it? Yeah. And you would have fattened up on that?
Yeah, mate, no, it was good. It was due, but no, it was a good thing, and he's done the job for us.
Done the job. And Crown Lagers tonight, are you watching that stupid rugby league game, or are you watching the AFL?
I'm watching a bit of both, but yeah, Fiona's Richmond, so it's not going down too well at the moment.
Is this something I need to know as a Collingwood supporter?
Yeah, I know Toddy's a Collingwood,
Yeah, don't spoil, but if you can say the pies in front, that makes my night.
So I can envisage your lounge room. You'd have the AFL on one channel, the rugby league on the other, and Dapto Dogs on the third screen. Is that right?
yeah, not far wrong, mate, I tell you.
Well, did you buy an extra 2 TVs after last week's win?
Yeah, mate, yeah. Got one in every room, in the toilet, everywhere.
we just seen the vision of you riding at home, and I think that's why it became a winner. It was great.
Oh, mate, you got to ride them home. God, the pressure was on, but no, we got the chocolates last week. It was great.
Oh, excellent. So, yeah, we just watched the footage that you sent us. It was hilarious. Really, really good. So we're going to talk about this week. So it's still the Brisbane Carnival. So we'll have a chat about the Brisbane races. And what do you like this week?
Well, yeah, we're up here again, and the Carnival's still going, got the Dane Ripper. But best bet, Brisbane, race 8, number 4, Nicanova. about $3.10. It ran in the Stradbroke last week, ran third.
Yeah.
They're backing it up, and the last time it backed up, it won. So, I'm going with Nicanova. It'll be winning. Race 8, number 4.
Race 8, number 4.
$3.10.
Yeah, so you doubled your tent and your dog as well during the week, is that right? You put your dog on it?
The dog must be the most relieved person or the animal in Australia at the moment.
Yeah, for sure, mate.
Yeah, and you got an each way bet. Now, I'm thinking this is a Chris Waller horse. Am I right?
Yes.
It is, yeah. What's that one?
Well, it's best each way of the day in Brisbane race 5. And number 5, Black on Gold at $9.53. $3. It's a similar field to a couple of weeks ago, and we had no luck at all and flew home. So it's an extra 400 metres. I'm pretty keen on that each way all day.
Okay, Black on Gold. So, and what was the report on Fiona's horse?
The one at the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, pulled up crook, mate. Yeah, pulled up with a thumb. So it had a heart arrhythmia.
Yep.
So it's running around next Wednesday. So that's at Ipswich.
Yep.
So pulled up a bit sore, mate. Missed the kick and had a few problems. So
okay.
Hopefully next week.
And have you heard anything about your other horse with Chris Lees? Is that going to run again?
Yeah. No, we didn't run on last Sunday because it was going back, but it's running on Tuesday at Tamworth.
Yeah. Good thing.
Salsa Dream, and it'll be going close to winning, mate. It's the second top weight. He's flying, but he'll go to the paddock after this run.
Okay.
But he'll be very competitive. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thanks for
your
your
time.
time.
Big week coming up.
All right. Thanks for your time again, Bisho.
No worries, boys.
And we'll speak to you next week.
Yeah, mate, ride it out again.
We'll be doubling up on our crayfish during the week after this week.
Put your house in it, sell your kid and put it on it.
Mate, no worries. Get on Nicanova Saturday, boys. It'll be bolting in.
All right, so thanks, Bisho.
Good on you, mate.
See you, boys.
See you next week.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Good on you, mate.
See you, boys. Bye. Bye.
So just to go through that again, that's our best is Brisbane race 8, number 4, Nicanova, around the $3.10 mark. And his best each way is Brisbane race 5, number 5, Black on Gold. So for those that like a multi, which is the Fat Man Badger himself.
Michael William Greeley.
Yeah, he'll be on it. So go the all up. All right, apparently we have a special guest.
That's just don't stay away from that guy over
Stay away from him. He eats all of it. And thanks to Domino's, they've delivered.
Absolutely. Appreciate that.
Our next guest, he'll be loving this. And excuse me, can we ask what we've got?
You've got a barbecue meat lovers and a chicken bacon ranch.
Oh, it's my favourite.
Love it.
The best ever.
Best ever. Sensational.
Hey, that's Domino's from Chelsea Heights. Is that correct?
Patterson Lakes.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, you've got a bit of internal
and, we are going to get in touch with you guys too when I get our past players up and going. We're going to have a pizza day. We will be getting pizza and beer. They go together, and we'll be getting onto Domino's.
Anyone who mentions the Chelsea Heights Footy Club in the next month will get a free can of Mountain Dew.
Chelsea Heights Footy Club.
Yes. I accidentally ordered 10 times more than we need, so...
Chelsea Heights Footy Club, Chelsea Heights Footy Club, Chelsea Heights Footy Club, Chelsea Heights Footy Club.
I need the room, all right?
All right, we'll do that.
Get rid of our Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dews, I love it. Sensational.
Right, thanks, guys.
No worries. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. That's great.
So, Domino's and Patterson Lakes, thank you so much for our pizzas. And like I said, we're going to give it back because when we do our past players day, we're going to look after Domino's.
Well, get some more Mountain Dew. That's all I can say.
We'll be getting Mountain Dew.
Over order again.
Okay, so your membership won't pay for beers. It'll be Mountain Dews. You'll get 4 Mountain Dews and a pizza.
Okay, no worries. For sponsorship, no problems in the world. I thought you were going to say free beer then. I think, I'm in. Hey.
So we've got another past player on here, and we're overflowing from our Irish special last week.
Yeah, it was a great show last week.
We've got Jackson Fry on, who was going to give us some Irish stories last week. We just ran out of time. We went for about 4 hours.
Yeah, there's only about 1 inch of is that a word? 1 inch?
1 inch.
Yeah, it's a small bit.
I just lost the pizza. Producer's got it, and Codge will eat all of that. Codge is going to eat all of that pizza. Anyway, Jackson, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here, mate.
Yeah, that's okay. Just a little bit of background. You played at the Heights. You played in the Colts in 2011, 2012. Even more impressive impressive is you won the league goal kicking in 2013. And you've been a past player here until you played up here until 2017.
Yeah, no, that's spot on, mate. So I played all my junior footy at Karen Patterson Lakes, and as we sort of know, there was no senior club there, so I finished up there in 2010, and Mark Boland, I think a guy you know, T-Rex.
Yeah, T-Rex.
Got in contact with the great Neil Lockhart Puppet. And we brought the Carrum under-16 side to come here to Chelsea Heights and play in the under-17s, which was in the old Moorabbin Saints League. And played under T-Rex for a season in 2011. Love that. And then progressed into the Colts under the great Lee Thwaites. Lucky enough to captain the Colts in 2012 and won the goal kicking actually in 2013 under Paul Smith, which was a great couple of years playing underage footy with some of my best mates who I still speak to this day.
Yeah, it's awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your family. You've just told us how you got down to the club. So and a few other football achievements that have sort of happened along the way.
Yeah, so I got two sisters. I'm the middle child.
They're the troubling ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are. Toddy. No, grew up in Patterson Lakes. Funnily enough, I went to Patterson Lakes Primary School, and my grade 5 teacher was Brad Canavan, who ended up coaching me for 3 seasons.
It's a wonder you didn't leave school at 9.
So if anyone says that I'm no good, I'll blame Brad for that. Yeah. So great parents, very supportive parents who always used to come down and watch me play down here. Played here for 7 seasons. Had a great time. I think I played about 120 games roughly. So, and then went to Hampton Park in 2018. Played there the last 2 years and was lucky enough to play in a premiership last season. We won the Division 3. And funnily enough, was meant to play my 100th game this year against Chelsea Heights out here. Which, now that the season's sort of called off, I don't know if I was looking forward to that or not. But, I had so many, coming back to the rooms here, so many great memories and so many great friends at this club, and still love the place thoroughly.
Before you ask your question, a man with no toes, or toes missing, has informed me that you're a gun cricketer, but you can't tackle like every other cricketer, apparently.
I'll take that from Neil. I don't know about a gun cricketer. I'm handy cricketer, and he's spot on. He's spot on. The one time I did try to tackle for Chelsea Heights, I dislocated my shoulder, so...
Lesson learned?
Lesson learned, Puppet. Yeah, no, he's a great man, Neil. He's probably the reason I played at this club for so long. He's just you guys know him so well. What he gave to this club and what he still gives to this club, I've never met someone so passionate, and he's just an absolute legend. So I know Puppet will be listening. I'm actually meant to catch up with him the next couple of days for a coffee. So,
cool. So you'll be playing down here?
Yeah, exactly. I see a contract on the board already. As soon as you said coffee is a euphemism for sign this.
It's the old. It's your shout for the coffee. Can you just sign the credit? Can you just sign the form, the credit card form?
And you know why? Because and the fact is that no one can pay any because you'll be free.
It's all for nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
It's good for footy if it does get up.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now this is not on the list on the question, but I was asked by someone, and I wasn't sort of going to ask you this question, but I thought it's probably pertinent. You did your knee? When you broke your leg, sorry.
Yeah,
I'll get my facts right, Vern. And you couldn't play in that year, and that was pretty tough for everyone involved. I know it was really hurt you a lot. How did you get over that? The whole situation was pretty bad. I know you wanted to play.
Yeah.
I still think you weren't fit, and that was there was a thing I know you did and stuff. And it was a really tough sort of part of your life.
Yeah, no, it was. You're spot on. So I had a hairline fracture. Funnily enough, I was going to. I remember it fondly. And I was going to snap a goal at that end, and I got tackled. And as I sort of tackled, my legs got twisted, and I actually, funnily, left foot, I kicked the back of my right leg. Yeah. And I thought it was just a corky. And then, so I got an X-ray. I'll keep it short and sweet. Got an X-ray. There was no result in the X-ray. Come back, it was a hairline fracture, and that was 8 weeks out from the grand final. It was a 4 to 6 week injury. And I swear, black and blue, I was right to play in that grand final, but I understand why they didn't pick me, because if you haven't played. So I missed the rest of the home and away season, missed the second semi. We won that game. Everyone played well, got a week off into the grand final. I was available, I was fit, but how would you drop someone from that? From the second
set? And that's for the reason I asked you.
And you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. It was shattering because I'd given, you know, when we got relegated in 2015 from Div 1, I saw a great opportunity for the club to win a premiership and get back up. We lost, as you know, the prelim in 2016 by a point, and that was just as heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, that game, I have nightmares. We kicked 8 goals, 17, and we should have won that.
Yeah.
Like, if we had made the granny, even if Port Colts were undefeated, but just to get a crack at them would have been great. And then to get injured and miss the flag the following year, it was tough. It was disappointing. But life goes on.
And the reason I asked you the question, because you got the premiership that you deserved anyway.
So obviously I moved on and whatnot, and played in the premiership. But I'll be honest with you, this is my home. I always loved this club, and we'll definitely come back here and play in the not too distant future.
Which is obviously next weekend.
Could you just sign this for me?
Have some more pizza. Like I said, I thought a bit twice about asking that question because I know, because I'm here, and everyone was. It was so many people saying, "No, he shouldn't, he can't." And you said your thing, and it was all that thing about everything, and then you know,
can't
what I mean?
drop a guy for a grand final after you won the second semi when I hadn't played for 6 weeks. Was I in the best side? I was in the best team, but that's not the point. Look, it was tough. It's funny, I was reminiscing the other day. I was going through Instagram. I saw a photo with your son, Luke, and I know how much he loved me.
Your favourite player.
So many memories of this club, and they come flooding back.
It come back to me. There was a couple of pictures of you over there, and he loved you as a player.
And
so
you know, some people might remember the negatives, but you got to look at the positives, and there's so many great things that happen at this club. And your son, I mean, I remember that, and I love that.
Still dirty, Jacko.
Yeah, he was dirty. I remember Nicole, when I left the club, Nicole was filthy.
I was.
Well, that's footy. That's local footy, and that's passion, and that's what you play for, and that's the
exactly
things
right.
hurt. You know what I mean? And they should hurt and
It's
stuff
a tough
like that.
game.
So
It doesn't matter what
is.
level you play, what standard. You know, it's a tough game.
Exactly.
And you've got to remember the good things. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And a little bit about this show is that later in life, when you come back to a club that you love and people that you love and people that you play with, you remember all those things.
Like, even driving in, I haven't been here for a couple of years, and you drive, and just the memories come flooding back.
That's terrific. So I'll get on my question that's on the paper. I thought it was a great one, actually. Bit of ad lib. Okay, so we ran out of like I spoke to you last week and trying to get a story about Irish, but we sort of ran out of time because it was just, there's too many stories.
Yeah.
And you told me you had an absolute cracker, and that one of probably many. So it's now your turn to tell your story about
I could bring this on, so I'll keep it short and sweet. So we had a function here one night. And
this is already getting bad already.
And anyone that knows, Jared lived literally across the road. So he said, boys, me, Adam Hume, Cal Dodson, a few of my great mates, Luke Manners, Luke Shelton, come back to my joint. So we get there, and we walk in, and it's dark, it's pitch black. Jared, what's going on? I haven't paid me power bill. But don't worry, boys. We're like, all right. So he lights a candle. Anyway, bit of ruffling out the back. And anyone that's been to the units are next to each other, Jared comes back in the house. We've got power back on. I said, how'd you manage that? Don't worry about it, boys. Don't worry about it. So he jumped into the unit next door. They were on holidays overseas. And he's run a power lead over the fence into the house. We're charging our phones. We're going, the TV's back. How good's this? Anyway, a couple of weeks later, Jared, how you going? The neighbours come home and they weren't impressed. He run a power lead from the back fence. So that, and the boys that were there that night, they'll reminisce on that one. That was... one of the funny ones. Another one, I don't know if you were on that trip to Sale, Toddy.
No, I didn't go to the Sale one.
It was a footy trip, a cricket trip. I'll keep it brief, but anyone that knows Jared, he had a few bowel problems. And we were at a pub.
Very polite.
At a pub/nightclub. Anyway, there's probably 100 people on the dance floor, and Jared's dropped his guts.
I'm tipping there's not many left after that.
And Brad Lockhart, the great man Buckwheat, has described this as the forward press. Everyone has left the dance floor. Anyone that knows footy, the forward press, everyone goes up the ground.
Yeah.
Everyone's left the dance floor except Jared.
Pagan's paddock.
Except Jared. So they're probably two of the ones. And I remember I picked him up, I think, for a thirds game. Toddy, you were team manager one day. and the Colts were playing at the same ground. I can't remember what it was, and picked him up. I rang him. Was it, the units. No answer. He comes out, gets in the car. It's about 7 a.m.
Yeah. Cans, Bundy
cans.
cans.
How'd you go, mate? I couldn't sleep. Cracks a Bundy. 7 a.m. 7. Mother's milk. And that was his breakfast, and he was all good, and that's Jared, and you guessed it. It was a Bundy can. So I mean, there's a few more.
There's heaps.
There's also, I'll throw one more in. That Grant, you spoke about Puppet and his bad driving.
Yeah.
My first year at Chelsea Ice, we were driving out to Hallam of all places, and Jared's in the back seat, and Neil's picked me up. I might have been in the back seat. And we're driving out to Hallam, and as Neil does, Puppet.
Oh, he's shocking.
And I'm in the back seat as a 16, 17. I'm feeling, Neil, what? And then, Jared, the Dossett tone. Neil, watch the fucking road. So you imagine a young kid and watching the show last week when you mentioned that. I love Puppet, but he's the worst driver ever.
I know. Yeah.
So there's probably a few Gerald tales that, I mean, I could tell more, but they're probably the main ones that I...
Just on that, I used to play a bit of social golf with the club, and Steve Rice to pick me up when we used to get Irish, and same thing, ring, no answer. Hang on a second. You know what I mean? And he'd just come out, and like, when he's out of bed, there's nothing like, you can't, what he looks like, and he's same in you want a can? You know what I mean? It's like fucking 6:32 in the morning on a Sunday morning. I go, that's a bit early, that. He goes, well, it's polite to ask. You know what I mean? And I thought, well, it is polite to ask, but sorry.
We love Jared, and he didn't change, and that's the way he was.
He's beautiful.
Mother's milk, he'd say that Bundaberg rummies. It wasn't for me, but...
Slob Fanning's put in a quote here that the great man was banned from Cora Golf Club. Apparently he had an accident in bed. So he was barred.
There's many stories that you touched on last week and tonight, and we do miss Jared. He was one of a kind.
And like I said, like we always say, when we were trying to work out how we're going to work this, if he was here now, it'd be great, you know what I mean? So, like I said, the professional, big shit, and just Jared doing whatever Jared does, and we just let him go. There wouldn't be any rules for him. We just let him go. It'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
I love it.
That's terrific, mate.
Jackson, tell us about your show. We wanted to hear a little bit more about it, when it's on, how we can listen to it, what guests you have on it, what the content is.
Just before, I actually rang Jacko, messaged Jacko and said, well, can you give me any tips for a podcast? Because I had no idea what I don't know what I was doing. And what did you say to me?
I just said, speak confidently. Just pretend there's no camera.
That's it.
So my show, it come about sort of unexpectedly with the footy getting called off. Anyone that follows Game Face, which is a great promoter for local sport. One of the guys, Will Hunter, got in contact with me and said, would you be interested in hosting a show? So it's on Game Face on the Facebook page, 10 a.m. every Saturday.
Yep.
Me and a guy that plays at Springvale, David Monahan. It's called the Jacko and Donk Show.
Yep.
Just a lot like this. Not as good as his show, I will say.
I think you're too kind. You're too kind.
A few laughs. We try and get...
I'll scratch his head out here.
I know, you talk like footy and sense and that. Well, we just speak shit.
We try and get guests on and try and cover... it's mainly a Southern footy show, so try and cover them. So, 10 o'clock Saturday mornings on the Game Face Facebook footy Facebook show.
I listen to it. It's a very good show too. They've got some good... some really good guests, actually.
Yeah, we managed to pull a couple of good guests.
I know.
But we're running out of contacts.
We've got nothing. That's why we've got you on.
Yeah, that's right. So when you come back next year, you'll be hosting this show.
Yeah.
We'll have your own hosting.
What's that? I just got a message from Puppet.
Puppet?
Yeah, I'm going to give you my chair next year. No worries, that's fine. Part of the deal. Sign on a detail.
Yeah.
So, I'll read it out. A certain person, a bloke with missing toes, not sure who that could be, asked if we could see a redback tattoo.
No premiership tattoo.
No.
As Neil would always say, you've got to be tough to get tattoos. So no tattoos for me.
So he's got none.
Yes.
And the other is we sort of answered the question before. What do you miss about the Heights, and what have you taken out of being here and playing here?
Mate, so much. Like you, the one thing I look back when Grant sent me those questions last night is some of my lifelong friends and guys that I've known that I've met through playing at this club that I'm still in contact through today. Funnily enough, people probably don't know. I grew up next to Phil Madison. He was my neighbour
right.
when I was about 5 or 6.
Really?
I would have been about 16.
Yep.
And I'd kick the footy over the fence, and we'd have a chat. And how ironic that 15 years later that we were playing senior footy together. Even Sean as well. I'd kick the footy over the fence. Sean wasn't so welcoming. But Phil, just the mateship, the guys, and the ground, I must say. When they redid the ground, when I first played at the club, it was an absolute bulk show, as you guys
Well, we know that.
And the best thing Kingston Council did was relay the ground and the new rooms. I hear all the stories of the old rooms. I didn't quite get that when I started here. We were in these rooms, but and the functions. I mean, Toddy, you would have seen for a couple of years, Cal Dodson used to run the functions, and we'd have
Who's now playing cricket with you?
Yes,
is that right?
He's come across the case this year, which is good. So he's a great man, Cal. And now that that's reminded me, this club is the best club in the area for getting around people that run it tough. As you know, with Alina Matheson, Cal Dodson, Chris Maloney. That Cal Dodson fundraiser, I mean, mate.
That was outrageous.
You would not see any club, this side of the Westgate Bridge that could run a function like that. And the people and the support, even the Chris Maloney one, which to a lesser extent, that's as good as day. I know you'd agree with me, Toddy. That's as good as days you ever see for anyone.
For people who aren't professionals who are doing stuff like that, who don't do it on a day-by-day basis, and we just pull it off because we ask people, and people dig themselves, and they go, yes, and why, and they ask themselves why we do that, and then we ask, it's basically, if I ask you to do something, you go, I'll do it, and that's how it all works.
The community spirit. It's not a big club, Chelsea. We don't have juniors down here, and there's no, it's a small club, but when I played here, it was great, and the mateships and the memories. That's probably the main thing. Yeah,
well, you're a quality bloke, and thanks very much for joining us. Unless you got any Cheerios or anything else you want to mention.
No, I'll give a shout out to Adam and Helena Hume.
Yes, the Humes.
I was around there. I was around there before and probably had one too many beers before I come in. But
that's a prerequisite.
But yeah, that probably touches on what I miss most is playing with great mates like Yumi, a guy that I still speak to today, and Helena, who's I know a close friend of Nicole's. Besties. She's a legend. So no. Thanks for having me on, Greg.
No, that's okay.
And,
mate, it's been great to have you on.
I might tuck into that pizza if I can.
Yeah, get into it.
I'm starving. Can we wind this up?
Our producer,
and I will say Collingwood are 4 goals up, so Toddy's going to have it.
Yeah! Is it finished?
No, it's only
if it's finished now, I don't give a shit.
Quarter time.
Done.
The pies are looking good this year.
Very, very good. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Jackson.
Much appreciated. Cheers, guys.
We're gonna do the joke of the week. We're gonna get in touch with the Wolf Cat,
the third comedian of the night. Everyone's so shy to tell us a joke.
And then once we do that, we'll run through the best 22 father-son.
That's true. Hang around, Jack. Get in there.
Hang around, Jackson. Yeah, hook into the pizza, and
don't be like Charles Engel or him. He's an animal. I mean,
we'll give him a ring and see if we can catch him. He'll be.
He's the one who looks like they need a feed around here.
We are ringing another Pie supporter. He'll be very excited. Very excited.
You won't get a joke. He'd just be bragging.
They're very excited. 32-13, the score is.
Fuck, I'm still nervous.
He's not going to answer it. Isn't he? No, he's watching he might be watching the footy. We mightn't get him.
Hello.
Hey, mate. Hey,
Wolfcat, what's happening, champion? Are the Pies up?
They are up, mate.
Are you
excited? Should be up by a little bit more. We've missed a couple of easy goals.
Really?
Excited?
Our back line's killing it, mate. Absolutely killing it. So, very excited.
Very excited. Yeah, and you're on the Coronas, or what's happening?
Yeah, but just had a couple tonight.
Just
had a couple.
It's past your bedtime, isn't it?
Well, no, the footy's on, so I'm going to keep watching it. But, yeah, normally it is.
So
I just heard... And how much time we got?
You got as long as you like.
All right. So
well, no one's listening because they're watching the footy, so tell as long as we're not even listening, so go for it.
That's it. I'll just tell you, blokes. I just heard you talking about Irish. It just reminded me of his body functions and mishaps that he had. There was a funny story. It was the 98 grand final.
Yeah.
And in the seconds there, Smitty was coaching, and the preliminary final, Irish, we got dropped. I think he had broken ribs. He couldn't play. And Smitty dropped him. And a few of the boys said, well, if we make it through to the grand final, Irish is playing regardless if he's fit or not.
Yeah.
And Smitty said, yep, all right, let's do that. Because, that's why you play footy. play in premierships and that with your mates. So anyway, we make it into the grand final, and Smitty done his big spiel, and we all run out in the ground, and about a minute before the siren, Smitty got us all together, that final chat, that rev up, so we've all got our arms around each other. And I was just right next to me, hugging me, go, come on, mate, we can do this. And Smitty starts talking. And next minute I know, there's this warm sensation running down my leg. And I look down, and I look at Irish, and he's pissing on me, and he doesn't even know. I said, are you fair dinkum? What are you doing? And he looks down and he goes, just concentrate, focus. And I go, how the fuck can I focus? And you're pissing on me, piss off. So Smitty's trying to do his final bloody address and all this shit. But anyway, so that's just a funny story of the great man there.
The great man. Dinga, I'll tell you another. You'll know this as well. There is a person that might run BJS Insurance. I'm giving you a plug already.
Yeah.
That used to do that in the showers. And he used to think that was very funny.
Hasn't
he come a long way?
Great enjoyment out of that.
Hey?
That's not good form. That is it? I think someone put the yellow things that you put in the urinal. I think they put that in.
The cakes.
They put that in there for soap one game for the second, so that didn't go down too well. Apparently, it all foamed up and cleaned them quite well. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
And did I hear you talking about you're going to get the 3 Fanning boys in?
Well, we're hoping to. If we could.
Listen, Simon has to have a show by himself, I would have thought.
It'll be like the footy marathon.
It will be.
Yeah, I know. You try and get a word in with those blokes. Jeez whiz.
We're just going to leave.
You need a joke or what?
Yeah, let's go.
Have you got one? Remember now?
Dave's no good, apparently.
No, Dave's got to work. Jimmy was nervous. So we were really desperate and called you. So make it work. And remember, it's strange times we live in, and I give you the mail about the joke, so...
Yeah.
Just don't wish I don't give a shit. We'll put a disclaimer in.
You didn't give me a lot to go with, did you?
Yeah, not much.
What's happening in the world, but I thought maybe a little Johnny joke, and I'll probably stuff it up, but listen up anyway. So, little Johnny and his old man, they're walking through the park, having a kick of the footy, and over in the distance, there's two dogs going flat out for each other, chock-a-block up each other. Little Johnny looks over and he says to Dad, what are they doing over there? And the old man, he wants to keep everything prim and proper. He goes, oh, listen, son, the dog at the back there's got sore front paws. So the dog at the front, letting him rest his paws on his back, and he's going to carry him home. And then little Johnny goes, isn't that typical, Dad? And the old man goes, what do you mean by typical, son? He goes, well, you do a mate a favour and he fucks you up the arse. There you go. I'll leave you with that, and hopefully Dave will be back next week and he can do a lot better.
I'm glad you kept it clean.
That's probably the cleanest one I could do. All right, boys.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Try and get Jimmy getting up next week for a joke or something. All right. All the best.
Righto, mate.
Bye.
Good on you.
Bye. Another classic.
I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, me either. He's got me. We're going to finish on tonight. I know everyone's watching the footy. Like I said, I hope a lot of guys are watching this tomorrow on your way to work, on the train, whatever you're doing, getting away from the missus and the kids, whatever. Put the headphones on and have a listen to us.
Just one thing.
Yep.
I said, besides the Paul, I spoke to Paul and he was so humbled what we've had to say about him, what other people have said to him. He couldn't believe it, like he's not a social media. But I've been stopped in the street 3 times in one day last week about people who've been listening to the show. One was Colleen Nicol. One guy I can't remember. And a good friend of mine, Vanessa Cup, she loved it.
Yeah.
As soon as I said I put shit on Simple, she pissed herself laughing, But it's 3 different people don't sort of, you know what I mean? So
yeah. And Vanessa's a good Morty girl.
Yes, good Morty girl. Good Morty girl, I suppose. Yeah.
Jason said turn it up and you're listening, Vanessa.
Like I said, with with the Paul, he was very humbled. Yeah. Absolutely. And that meant a lot to me because he doesn't listen to too much sort of stuff, and he's a very humble guy. He was talking to, because his son Zach is at Swans.
Swans, yeah.
And he had to go, and he told me a story, he had to go and meet John Longmire, and he said, you know what I'm like, I just hide in the corner.
Yeah.
And so he's a very humble, but when he, like he said, he had a tear in his eye at Smoke over that day because of the lovely things that people talked about and remembered of him. So I think what we're doing is something really good, and it's affecting people in different ways. And if it's making them laugh, I'm having a tear, or making them, like Jacko, think of things that past.
Yeah,
I think we're doing okay.
Yeah,
so,
I think so too.
It's good.
And it's good recognition for those guys. And like I said, again, it's bringing everyone back into the fold. It's been tough times for everyone. It's going to be tough times going forward. So it's a simple way to get in touch with everyone and say that you're all welcome down here when footy does return. Come back down. Segue into the, what is it? Good for footy raffle.
Good for footy raffle.
The Moons.
Yes, the Moons. Thanks to the Brovs who they went bang and bought $100 worth of tickets each.
$100 of tickets.
So I think we've got a grand or so, which comes straight back to the club. But we actually need everyone to buy. It's $5.
Yeah.
I mean, if you buy $5 is nothing. And you got a chance to win a brand new car. So, and I must admit I haven't bought a ticket yet.
I'll buy some.
But I'm going to buy one now, obviously, because I've just guilted myself into it. So, and Jacko's obviously going to buy one.
Jacko's going to buy one. Before we get into the best 22 father
I forgot about that.
We're going to talk about. Thanks to there's a note here that Coops was a culprit for putting the urinal lollies in the shower. Thanks, Coops, for doing that. That's pretty funny. And great to hear from Richo, little Richo. Oh yeah, Richo. Good to see you online, mate. And
young Graham.
He said, "Great show, boys." He's a bit like he's an Adelaide Crow supporter, and was it Main Waring? We used to call him Main Waring. Was the only West Coast supporter, I think, down the footy club there for a while.
That's true.
Yeah, Mainers. Good on you, mate.
On you, Richo.
On you, Richo. Good stuff for listening. Okay, we're going to go through our father-son team, which is amazing to be able to produce a father-son team down here. That just tells you how long we've been around and how long we have to keep going.
And lucky there wasn't DNA in those years either.
That's right. We've got so on the back we've got Jeff Weinberg.
He did play down here, Bergs.
Yeah, Bergs. Yeah. We've got John Hogan, great fullback. We've got great Terry Canavan.
With a K.
With a K, should be a C. Yeah. Justin Juddy Foot. We're talking about the great two men, the 2 foots. We've got Phil Moose Greenberry. We've got Darren Dazza Reynolds there.
I know him.
Got some dud on the wing. I'm not going to mention his name.
I know him too. Is that Cameron Gates? I know the other wing. Sorry, Gates.
The other wing. We've got the great man Paul Foot in the centre. Gun player.
He'll listen. What do you say? He's Nokia 5210 tomorrow after he plays a game of Snake.
Yeah, we've got the Cameron Gates on the wing. We've got the great Gary Foot, who played about 1,000 games, didn't he? Footy?
2,000.
He
in one season.
He is the guy. Him and Moose inspired me to keep playing footy because he told me you just got to keep playing. He just said you just keep playing. You don't let your body stop. You just keep going.
He's a good man, Gazza.
He's a good man. Steve Kendall Fanning, who wouldn't have him at centre forward in every side.
Who is he?
Yeah, exactly. Brad Buckwheat Lockhart on the half forward flank.
Remember Buckwheat won the best and fairest for the thirds, and Puppet says to him, he goes, "You should be embarrassed." I've got to get him. No, I'll let Buckwheat tell the story. That's great.
I'll go on there. Yeah, we're going to get Buckwheat on in a few weeks. Jock McGregor on the.
Odi.
Waiting for it. Neil Puppet Lockhart at full forward.
Did I tell you the story? I was playing one day at full forward, and I was going average, and Puppet was coaching, and I was playing that bad that Puppet stripped off his gear, put his footy gear on, put me on the bench and went on the full forward and kicked 3 or 4 goals just to tell me how shit ass I was going. And he was the coach. And I thought, I think it's the end of my career.
We've got Brad Wiggy Canavan in the other pocket.
With a K?
With a K, great coach and player. Paul Berger Weinberg in the ruck.
And your Bergs?
The great Reggie Reynolds as
legend.
Rover, the initial BNF player.
The original. One and only.
One and only. Steve Gates as the Rover. Tough as they come.
Oh, tough, great.
And any tougher.
He still scares me, but he's a great player.
I'll tell you what we should do one day. We'll throw a crumb out in the middle and we'll get Gates and Mearnsey to run for it. Who do you reckon will win?
I don't know, but there'll be blood and feathers everywhere.
There will be. There'll be feathers flying everywhere. Interchange, we've got Ben Fanning.
Son of.
Clayton Greenbury.
Oh, son of, obviously.
Son of. Daniel Hogan.
Made that up myself.
Daniel Hogan.
Hoagie!
Yeah,
No deal!
Hoagie.
No deal, Hoagie!
We've got the great Ads McGregor. Love to see Ads down here. Get down here, Ads. We need you down here. And we've got a third generation here. Connor Reynolds on the bench, making up.
How many Reynolds is in there?
Yeah, another Reynolds on there. We've got the three.
Catholics?
Yeah.
Right.
Third generation. We've got the grandson in there as well. So that's a great father-son team. And again, thanks to Bear Bum. What are we going to do next week? We've got to think of something.
I don't know, Jack. You got any ideas?
Any ideas?
We're going to have best 22 next week.
Best
What
22.
about? No, I was down at Ryan the weekend with Jeff Armand and his family.
Yeah.
And he said, what about the not so good 22? You know what I mean?
You'd need 50 blokes.
We sat there and we were blind, and he's asking, and I'm naming stuff, and not retarded 22, but not the better ones. You know what I mean?
Has he sent his best 22?
No, he hasn't. We haven't got it yet.
I think me and him worked on that, so I'll get him to send that to you.
Yeah. So it's not about that, and then we do the complete retarded one. There's 17 teams, you know what I mean? A's, B's and C's, like Cranbourne used to have. So
there's a question here that we should get Moose on one day. That's probably pretty good. He's not a bad speaker.
Yeah, Moose is pretty good.
He's a good speaker.
But
he has some good stories.
Have we got the Fannings on? Can we get the Fannings on?
We've got the Fannings. We have Simon.
We'll get Slob on. Slob the $2 with me.
Yeah,
he's my neighbour.
Yeah, we will. We'll get Simon and Slob on.
We're just going to wait for Stephen.
And we'll get Steve on by himself.
Yeah.
Because we've spoken about this before. He released a statement. It was very powerful. We'd like him to read it out again.
Like I said, I'm not sure. Hopefully he can get on. But he at the start of the year, wasn't it? He put a statement out about the heights, which really touched home to a lot of people, and it was really, really great. And I think he needs to come on and say that. So that'd be great.
Yeah, and Ralphie's just sent us a message saying that he's in the goal square for the worst 22. Ralphie.
Good drinker though, Ralph.
He's a good drinker.
He played a game at Mordialloc in the thirds, and he said to me, he goes, "Do you reckon I'm the worst footballer you've ever seen?" I said, "No." And I've seen some really bad ones.
You're right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I was trying to be nice to him, but no, James, you weren't.
Yeah, James.
Yes.
Good man, James Ralph.
I've got another suggestion. Best bricklaying team at the Heights. That would be pretty good too.
Best
we've had a lot of bricklayers, haven't we?
Best trainers.
Best trainers, yeah.
Wouldn't that make the best bricklayers?
Yeah.
Didn't he make the thing that fell down?
He did make the thing that fell down.
Didn't he make the coach's box that fell down? So he may be on the bench. I'm just saying. I didn't make it up. I'm just saying.
Codge fans just sent you a message saying that you're driving him down next week. He's going to load up his esky and you're driving him. Luxury, Uber style. Uber Codge style.
Hey, John Perry-Young. The club needs to get some more champagne glasses next week.
Fanny said that you're sitting in the baby seat and he will take you.
Excellent. Just make sure his dogs and hounds are all locked up.
All your dogs are logged up when he walks in the gate, you're saying? Yeah, all good. Oh, are we ready to wrap up again? Are we ready or wrap up?
I don't know. Are we ready to wrap up? Anything else to say? I haven't got much else to say.
Nothing else to say. Thanks very much.
Rack up. Did I say rack up?
How are we going?
Rack up. Don't worry about that, baby.
How are we going? Thanks for joining us, Jackson.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, thanks for having us. Great.
Thanks, Domino's. Like I said, you'll be hosting this next year. Thanks to Domino's when you're back playing.
Great job.
Yeah, and we'll see a couple of Fanning boys hopefully next week.
Let's hope we get the three of them. That'd be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, even the two, even Slob and Tom. We'll get
the best two.
We'll get.
It's got to work out which one's the best two.
Sounds good. Thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks again for everyone's support.
Thanks very much. See you next week.
Thanks to Jason Close, and thanks for sponsoring the show too, Closey. It was brilliant.
Absolutely. Buy your raffle tickets, you bastards.
Yeah, get a raffle ticket.
Grow your business with social videos. It's not an option anymore. As humans, we're hardwired to absorb story. Video is where story thrives. Storytelling in video ultimately provides more opportunity for your audience to develop a strong connection to your product. Social media demands content. Let Major Tom Media create social video content for your business and watch your engagement grow. Go to